So will you, as an ethical hacker, try to penetrate wireless networks? Heavens, I hope so. There are going to be so many rogue APs and misconfigured ones and bad passwords. Yeah, you better. So, here are your steps. You use something like AirmonNG to discover the WAPs. You query the WAPs for their protocols. AirmonNG plus all those discovery tools will tell you. If you need to, use directional antennas like the Yagi, or if you want to get really fancy, build yourself a Pringles cantenna for better signal gain so you can be farther away. Use Wireshark to capture unencrypted traffic, but use something like AirCrackNG or Fern Wi-Fi or BesideNG to do the cracking. Use Karma for man-in-the-middle attacks, or you could also do something like Wi-Fi Pumpkin. Or you could also use the Wi-Fi Pineapple. Use Reaver Pixie Dust attacks to crack WPS, and use social engineering and evil twins to capture people's passwords wirelessly. So let's review what we know. The IEEE 802.11 Wi-Fi network is used for data transfer across a radio network. Wi-Fi infrastructure mode uses a wireless access point. It's hardware and software together. Most access points will use encryption, WPA, WPA2, maybe WEP, but of course WPA2 is the most secure. WEP uses a 24-bit initialization vector, stream cipher RC4, which is, I think, what does that stand for? Rivis Cipher 4, with a CRC32 checksum, but it is a weak implementation of an otherwise strong algorithm. So it has a statistical bias that we can crack. WPA uses TKIP with a stream cipher RC4, but 128-bit with 62-bit keys. WPA2 uses 256-bit keys with advanced encryption standard. WEP is vulnerable to analytical attacks. Countermeasures to Wi-Fi attacks are wireless IDSs and best practices for configuration, SSID, and authentication, which we had talked about. You can use AirCrackNG or BesideNG to crack the keys on Wi-Fi networks. And it doesn't have to just be WEP. You can capture the WPA four-way handshake and upload that to a cracking service, and they'll respond within like an hour, maybe overnight, maybe, and give you the cracked key. You could use a replay attack to obtain a repeated 24-bit IV, which is what we do in WEP. You can speed up WEP cracking with a fragmentation attack using AirReplayNG, which is part of the AirCrack suite. You could use a tool called PRGA to obtain fragments and put them into a packet. And you can use a tool called PacketForgeNG to do that. You could send a crafted packet to an AP to easily obtain thousands of IVs. Actually, the best way is to just replay a captured ARP. If you're going to go jamming radio devices, please check the laws in your area before you go ahead and do that, because you can actually buy radio jammers online and they're not expensive. And they are illegal if you go over a certain power rating, and of course they do. Use a tool like AirReplayNG to knock a client off of a WAP. You can spoof MAC addresses in deauthentication attacks. You can use evil twins to entice users to connect to your rogue. You could use a karma attack by sending a probe request to trick clients into connecting to evil twins. You could use SSL strip with an evil twin to downgrade a user's HTTPS session so it's clear text. You could place your wireless interface in promiscuous mode to receive all available signals. Use AeroDumpNG to sniff the four-way wireless handshake for WPA, WPA2. BesideNG is also brilliant at doing that. You could use online brute forcing to crack a WPS pin. Use the Pixie Dust attack to conduct the offline cracking of a vulnerable AP against its WPS. Use bluejacking to send unsolicited messages, hopefully social engineering somebody. Use blue snarfing to steal their sensitive data. Use blue bugging to get system-level access to totally control their device. And use Blueborn to try to gain access without even involving the victim. And with that, let's get on to our lab, Hacking Wireless.